But you talk about the people that died on Pike's Peak?
I did, but I said I didn't know if it was true or not.
It's true. I looked it up. They froze to death. The couple
Oh.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told them. I did
Okay.
You didn't tell us the story though.
because I couldn't remember it. I'm not good with like details like that.
The story.
Well, you know what's funny is so they have a lady that, is telling a lot of the history as you're going up because again it's a long and so I kept teasing Jill and Elliot and Javier that the lady was just making stuff up as we go along. Like she'd be like, "Oh yeah, and just this couple died," and like, "No, not really."
And she might have been making that up. We don't know.
Exactly, because like no one knows that she's actually telling the truth, and so like I was just kept making fun of her that she was just making stuff up on a whim, and so then I started telling stuff too as we were going up. It was so funny, and then she went down. She came down on her way down to greet everybody, and she intentionally skipped our row. She did not come to.
Oh.
I was really mad.
Jacqueline was like ready to shake her hand. She was like,
Yeah, and Barb did not want to come. I don't even know what her name was,
Dang.
but her name is Barb now.
Welcome to the Postcard Town podcast. My name is Jensen, and I'm joined by my sisters Jill and Jacqueline, as well as my favorite travel partner and wife, Raquel. This is an exciting time for us, and today marks the beginning of our new travel podcast. Each episode, we'll pick a destination to discuss. It could be a city, a national park, a festival, or a special event that's enticing us to get away from the norm and see somewhere new. We'll talk about memories from places we've been and plans for new adventures we want to go on. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. This is our first episode, and we're starting off with a trip to Colorado Springs. It's a destination I've been on a couple of occasions, and I look forward to going to again. Colorado Springs offers a variety of experiences for those who enjoy exploring the outdoors. I have several memories from previous trips, but I'm going to hang on to most of them until later on the show. I want to see if Jill or Jacqueline or Raquel had any memories that they want to bring up from past trips and how recently Jill and Jacqueline have been.
Go, Jill.
when did we go?
We
I
just
have
went
to
this
think about
year.
it.
It wasn't that long ago.
We just went. I'm just not good with dates.
So we went to Denver, actually, and we went to see Chris Stapleton. And while we were there, we actually did Colorado Springs too. We did the Cog Railway, which was super fun. And we also did Garden of the Gods.
Well, it's been a while for me and Raquel. Raquel actually goes a good amount for work, but we went and we took Yogi with us, and that's kind of what stands out for me on our previous trip, because he was able to go with us on a lot of hikes and see a lot of the city with us. So that was really fun. We actually took him to a dog park while we were there. It's Bear Creek Dog Park, and I remember they had a sign there that said, like, this is a top 10 dog park. It's been 10 years since I think it was rated that, but I'm sure it's still a really nice dog park. So make sure you stop and check one out. Okay, so let's get going. We'll start off with vacation mode. Got my Pikes Peak t-shirt on. Raquel's got her mountain t-shirt on. And let's get ready for vacation. So this is going to be the music artist, the song, movie, or book that you're packing for the flight. So there's two that I came up with. There's one is the Prestige, Christopher Nolan movie. It's got 77% Rotten Tomatoes. It's the fifth movie that he directed. It's right in between Batman Begins and Dark Knight. I actually watched it for the first time earlier this year. I really like it. It's a good mix of story and then like performance of the illusions and the tricks that they're doing. I think we're good to spoil this one since it's nearly 20 years old if you want, but I'm not sure if y'all have seen it yet and you know.
Is that the one where they're twins and it has Christian Bale? Yes!
That's right. Yeah, so Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman. So Colorado Springs doesn't play a big role in the film, but it is referenced and visited by Hugh Jackman's character, where there's this new show-stopping illusion that he's trying to get constructed by inventor Nikola Tesla. So it's got a little piece of Colorado Springs sprinkled in there.
Hold on. Okay, I do have a little tidbit. This is especially for Jensen. Did you know that Furious 7, your favorite franchise, I guess there's a scene that takes place at Pike's Peak. I don't
There
know,
is.
something about dropping plane or cars. I don't know, but that was for you.
So that's my second pick.
Oh,
That's my second pick. The 7th Fast and Furious movie came out in 2015. It had a huge budget, $190 million. It has grossed $1.5 billion worldwide, which seems pretty crazy. And it has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is the highest Fast and Furious movie rating that's out there on Rotten Tomatoes.
okay.
As you mentioned, there's an airdrop scene where cars are dropped from a plane and they parachute down to the road. And then there's a scene, it's about 10 minutes long. You can see it online. And there's a car chase down the mountain. It's a huge tour bus. And it's filled with some bad guys and guns and girls that they're trying to rescue. And obviously there's a lot of action. It's Vin Diesel, Ludacris. Everyone's headed down the mountain. But the scene finishes with this huge tour bus tipping over on its side and skidding to a stop where it's teetering over the edge of a cliff. But Paul Walker's inside. No worries. He's wearing his hoodie, his jeans, and he's got his Vans on. So he's hanging out. He pulls himself back up. He climbs on top of the bus. And as it's falling over the edge of the mountain, he runs the full length of the bus, jumps, and Michelle Rodriguez shows up, swings her car over the edge close enough for him to grab onto the spoiler and pull him to safety. So that's the big scene with Colorado Springs involved. So it maybe makes you watch some Fast and Furious on the trip to Colorado Springs.
I think I need to watch it now. Probably need to watch all of them.
And that's going to take us to our new category of the road trip car game. So a short game, trivia to play in the car. I'm going to let Raquel opt out of this game if she wants, because I know that she doesn't like Fast and the Furious. We have 10 Fast and Furious movies, and we'll alternate Jacqueline and Jill. We're going to see who can name more Fast and Furious movies. I need you to give us an exact title because these movies are very similar in names.
Gosh.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? Any takers?
Me.
Get it.
Jill wants to go first.
Yeah,
I think, by the way, I think we're maybe going to get
Yeah.
4 total correct. If you get 4, I'll be pretty impressed.
Okay, I'm just going to start with the obvious, The Fast and the Furious.
That's correct. That's the first movie.
Is this in no particular order, right?
Yeah, you can
order
go in
you
any
want,
order you want. You don't have to go 1 to 10.
The Fast and the Furious Reloaded.
That is not a Fast and Furious movie.
Maybe it should be.
Okay. Maybe it's coming soon.
It might be 11.
Okay, let me try again. Is one of them The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift?
That is the 3rd film.
Oh, that's the one that I knew. That
That's
was
the only other one I know. Let me see if I know any more.
Jacqueline, any more guesses? Keep going.
I don't know. Fast and the Furious, more furious.
More Fast, More Furious. That is not one.
Okay, well then I'm out, but I won.
You're both out?
Raquel.
Okay,
Yes,
so let me
we're
give
out.
you the list.
There's got to be a Fast and Furious 2.
There. Okay, so here's the list. The Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
Too Fast,
duh.
Too Furious. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
A very simple Fast and Furious.
Without the?
No thes, just Fast and Furious. That's number 4. Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, which Raquel named leading up to the description. So I really thought you guys were going to get Furious 7. Number 8 is The Fate of the Furious. Then you have F9 and Fast 10, spelled Fast X.
If you would have done Cars movies, then maybe me and Jill would have got it. Cars 1, Cars 2.
I wouldn't have got those either.
I'll consider it.
The only movies I'm good at are the Bourne movies.
All right, that'll wrap up our road trip game. Let's take a quick break, and then whenever we come back, we'll get into the points of interest. Now we're going to start off with Pike's Peak. Pike's Peak is 14,115 feet. It is the 32nd tallest in Colorado. There's 58 mountains that are 14,000 feet or higher, and it is the 32nd tallest. It is, though, the most visited summit in North America, with over 500,000 people reaching the top each year. And it inspired the poem America the Beautiful way back in 1895. 15 years later, it was adapted and joined by a melody and created the song that we know today. Up at the top of the summit, the air has 40% less oxygen than at sea level. And there's also some donuts up there. And from what I understand, you need to eat the donuts at the top because you cannot take them down. They will not be the same. They're not going to taste the same. It's a special recipe, and you need to eat them at the summit. I think Jacqueline and Jill look like they both consumed some donuts.
Yeah.
We had a lot of donuts. I did. When we got to the top, I don't want to call it a concession stand, it's like a cafe, cafeteria, whatever. There were several different types of donuts. So maybe Elliot had donut balls, but I had several other flavors as well. Cinnamon sugar was my favorite, but that's my favorite all the time. But they also had very good concession stand nachos. So tortilla chips, and you get to ladle the cheese yourself.
Just your classic Rico cheese?
Classic Rico cheese, 100%. And I mean, people were buying all kinds of stuff up there. People were buying hot dogs, all kinds of stuff. But the nachos and the donuts were my favorite. And I will be honest that I did feel a little sick up there. Like whenever we got off of the Cog Railway and got out, I did not feel fantastic. Everybody else seemed to acclimate just fine. But I was a little lightheaded. So I maybe overdid the food because I was like, maybe this will help.
Yeah, when we went, they were actually still building the Cog Railway, and a lot of the summit was under construction. The donut shop was not open because they were in the middle of remodeling. We didn't have the cafe. I don't even know if we had a bathroom really available up there to us either. So when we got up there, it was pretty tight parking, and the area was under construction, as I said.
So you did the drive.
We did the drive, but go ahead, just tell us a little bit about the Cog Railway. It sounds like it's obviously you're going to have to pay for it, and it's going to be 3 hours plus round trip. But
yeah, it might have been more than that. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how long it took us, but the parking was not terrible. Like it's not like they directed us pretty well, even though it's a tight area, it's a cramped area. I felt like it was fine. They also direct you to like use the bathroom and you have this much time, and they say it pretty strict, but I felt like we had plenty of time. I will say I felt like the benches were a little small because I think it was 3 to a row. And so we were trying to sit across from each other. So we were 4 in a row of 6. And then we kind of got some extra people next to us, which is fine. But like I was layered up, and I don't know. I guess I just felt like I didn't have a ton of room. Like I almost wish I had just paid for the extra seats so I could like spread out more. But
how many cars do you have? Because like the pictures I've seen, I only see like 2 like train cars or trolley cars on there. Was there a lot of people in there?
3 or 4. There's quite a few people in there. And it was funny because we booked the tickets the day before, and you could tell that a majority of them were gone, but there was still enough space. But then by the time we actually got on it the next day, I really didn't see any open seats, like maybe two open seats in our whole car. So it did get pretty full. Um,
Were you able to get views like out the window? Was it
yes.
a good view going up?
Yeah, so you get to pick so you could do general admission, I think, where you just get whatever seat is open. We actually picked our seats, so we had two window seats, and you can put the windows down most of the way, so we could see out the entire time. Of course, if you're sitting, depending on what side you're on, you're seeing going up, or you're seeing the opposite view.
Yeah.
Um,
You
but
said
you
it was
can
a
but you can
bench.
see that.
Did you say it was a bench, or do you get a better seat? Like physical seat is like more cushiony if you do the seat that you selected.
There is a better seat you can buy, but they sold out quick. There's only like six, maybe eight of them, and they're like in the very first car, like next to the conductor. And in those
Oh,
seats, I
that's
think you had
cool.
like where you could see all the way around the whole time. But those had been way gone before, because like I said, we bought the day before. But other than that, yeah, you couldn't get really a better seat.
Okay. Well, we drove, and what I'll say is that it's the scariest road I've ever driven. It's scary
Mm-hmm.
going up, it's scary going down. You really can't look out at the landscape because you have to focus on the road. And the drive up, for the passenger, you're closer to the edge. So that's
Oh
probably even more
God.
terrifying than being in the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we
So
made it.
scary.
We made it to the shuttle stop that's a couple miles shy of the summit, and there was a lady there. And I remember she says, "Hi, do you want to keep driving to the summit?" And I was just immediately like, "No, no, I don't." Like, and she was like, "Okay, you can go ahead and park." I was like, "I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to stop. Like, I don't need to keep driving." So
Yeah.
we parked and we took the shuttle, which they fly up the mountain that last 3 miles.
Yeah, yeah. In a van, in like a 15 passenger van, and he's going so
Like,
fast.
what was the speed you were going?
Oh
Super
gosh.
slow. It,
That's what I would think.
15?
Like,
15 maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's only and we should mention it's only 19 miles from the base to the summit. Um but it does take 3 hours to do the full round trip, to go up, to look around, eat some donuts, come back down. It's a good trip. You need to make sure that you have gas. You need to make sure that you know how to put your car and drive in low gear, which we anticipated this drive being really scary, and we knew that the descent was something that we needed to prepare for. So there's not a lot of hills where we live, and we're not used to driving that way. I think we went to like a parking garage and we put the car in like a low gear and practiced just going down so that we would be used to what the car sounds like, what it feels like, and actually driving, at that decline whenever we're coming back down.
Yeah.
But we did not really prepare for going up and how scary it was going to be just getting there to begin with. We were more focused on the return.
I didn't even want to look. I really didn't want to look to the side, outside the window. It was pretty, and yeah, and I was trying to stay cool because I knew he was nervous going up. But the going down is pretty crazy too because they have a checkpoint where they
Oh,
check the temperature of your tires, like to make sure that it's not overheating. Right? I think they were checking the tires.
They're checking the brakes.
Oh, the brakes. That's right. The brakes. Yeah. 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 It was nuts. It was nuts.
So they check the brakes on the way down to make sure that they haven't overheated and you're good to go. There's a little gift shop nearby, so you'll see a lot of cars pulled over, that they need to sit there and let their brakes cool off, so they'll go into the gift shop and hang out for a little bit while their car cools down. But I remember being so glad when we made it back to the bottom. It was a victory because we knew that it was going to be a journey going up and down this mountain. So both options I think are great, whether you want to do the cog railway or you want to drive it. But I definitely feel like the drive is the more adventurous experience. In the end, it's the drive that I talk about the most. That's what got my heart racing, not the 20 or 30 minutes that we spent at the summit looking at the panoramic views. The views are great, but the drive is what's memorable. More on Pikes Peak. They also have the Pikes Peak hill climb. also known as Race to the Clouds. Each June, competitors are racing at speeds as high as 140 miles an hour. They're starting at mile 7, so they're going 12 miles to the summit, and they're trying to go as fast as they can. The first race was way back in 1916, and that was a time of 20 minutes and 55 seconds. The fastest time ever was back in 2018, where the driver completed it in 7 minutes and 57 seconds. So it's taking me, an hour plus to get up, and they are getting up there in 7 minutes or 8 minutes.
Do you remember watching? Weren't there bike riders too
Yeah,
on our drive?
yeah, if you want to do the cycling, that I remember getting to the top, and there was a cyclist up there, and he flew back down the mountain also. That is also super scary. The last one on Pikes Peak is going to be the marathon. That's held in September. It's the oldest continually held marathon in the U.S., dating back to 1956. It's a full trip, obviously, marathon, 26.2 miles. And there are some results that I looked up. Top finisher was 3 hours and 54 minutes. Let's head to Garden of the Gods. This is one of the top spots that is going to show up when you're looking at Colorado Springs. It is free, 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 free. That's probably one of the biggest perks. You can go and you can hike. You can be among these massive rock formations. You can also do rock climbing, horseback riding, or a guided tour. All of those 3 are going to cost some money, though. We stopped by at the Visitor and the Nature Center nearby, grabbed a map there, and it's also a good spot. It has a little gift shop in there, some air conditioning, restroom, and some other exhibits to check out. Did y'all look at the Visitor Center, or did you just go straight into the
I
trails?
feel like we missed out.
Yeah, we just went straight to a parking lot and
Yeah,
got out.
there is the main parking lot, which is along Juniper Way. That's where you most likely are going to prefer to park. That's where you get the views that you've probably seen online, where you're really entering Garden of the Gods. It's really nice. It's paved. It's just great if you have a wheelchair, stroller, you're taking your dog. It is dog friendly, but that is probably where you want to stop by for sure if you go to Garden of the Gods, so you get the entry that you're really expecting and seeing those rock formations. We also parked, though, me and Raquel, on our last trip, we parked at the Trading Post, which also has souvenirs and restrooms there. And that was a good base for us to kind of be parked at. And then we went out and did some hikes.
I don't remember like our specific trails. Like I said, we just parked and kind of got out and wandered around since we didn't have a real plan that day. But that was kind of cool too because we didn't really have a big expectation of this really strenuous hike, which I've done before, and I like stuff like that, like very challenging, hikes. I do enjoy that. But this was just neat because I feel like we got to talk a lot, and we saw a lot of families that were out there, a lot of older people, younger people, children, like anybody could go and do this. And then also you had kind of the rock formations, but then we went a little bit further down the path, and then we kind of ended up in like some brush, some trees, some, just different vegetation. So it wasn't like all completely the same. And as much as I think like, oh, I'm not going to care about a bunch of orange rocks, they are so cool to see. And it is just so weird when you're there and you're like, I mean, this really is crazy cool. And um, so we enjoyed it. I do remember somebody complaining about the bathroom. It wasn't me, but so I do remember it not being our favorite restroom, but as expected with a park, like
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
basic park bathroom. But we had a really good time there. Like I said, it was a good time just to catch up with each other. So that was good.
Yeah. I was going to say too, on my last work trip, I only had a couple hours, right? Like after the end of the workday to look around, and this was so easy to get to. It's like if you're in the city, right, of Colorado Springs, and it just allowed me to go to a pretty place and get like a quick walk in so easily is really cool to me.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Manitou Incline. We'll see if Jacqueline has anything to add to the Manitou Incline. I know that she went and she hiked it on her last trip.
I did.
Yeah, Jacqueline, there's over 70,000 visitors there each year, and it's at an elevation of 8,500 feet. It's made out of railroad ties. There's 2,768 railroad ties or steps to the top. It's less than a mile, but there's 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and it is on a very steep grade. On average, it's 45% grade, and at its steepest, it's a 68% grade. It's free, but I believe you have to register to climb. The last time that I tried to do it, I was going to do it whenever we went on one trip, and the reservations were all booked up, and so I could not do it. It was probably for the best based off of what
I
Jacqueline
did
has
it
said.
with two other girls when I was there for work. And yeah, it was very intimidating. And going down, we didn't do the stairs going down. We took like the longest route down. And I will say it's very grueling. And it's crazy though, because there's people that are just like passing you, like they're running up the stairs. And you're like, what in the world? Like I'm just amazed at their athleticism. And like that's their workout. Like they'll go back and forth, up and down. And I think we asked a couple people like, how long does it take you? And they're like, oh, 15 minutes. And I'm like, and it takes us like, I'm sure it was well over an hour, if not 2 hours. I have to look at my time, but yeah, we were slow and steady. And sometimes like it is so steep that you're just kind of like hand over foot, like crawling, because it can be scary for sure. But I'm glad I did it. Like I feel like it's like one of those bucket list things to say like, okay, I did it, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it scary thinking about going down the stairs, and that's
Yeah.
why you took the other route?
I don't think you're supposed to go down the stairs. People do it, but from what I've read, you are supposed to take the switchback that goes back behind. It is a longer route, and it's going to take you a while. So people just go down, but it is
Yeah.
dangerous to go back down the steps.
but glad I did it.
So as you mentioned, I think it's going to take most people a couple hours for the full trip, but some climbers are going to do it in under 30 minutes. What I had found last time online was that the fastest time on record was 17
Dang.
minutes and 25 seconds. That seems pretty
Yeah.
fast to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my time. There's several tips on how to do it. Just acclimate. It's really suggested that you don't attip the incline right after you arrive there, so that your body has some time to adjust to the elevation change, and then just going really slow and taking lots of water and take plenty of breaks. Probably some hiking poles too. I'm a big fan of hiking poles. While I was doing some research, I also saw what's the success rate of the Manitou Incline, and the short answer is that it's 41%. The internet is saying that only 41% of people actually make it to the top.
That's crazy. We actually almost went. Like I was like, Jacqueline, should we do the stairs or should we do the railway thing? And she was like, she was like, I do not want to do those stairs again. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, because I really want to do them. But if she can do them, I can do them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I'm glad we didn't, because I do feel like Elliot and I would have been like part way, and we would have been like, yeah, we have kids, we got to go back down. Like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna make it. So I do believe that is probably accurate, 41%.
Okay, so next up I have Manitou Springs. It's a cute little downtown area with shops and souvenirs. There's a penny arcade. Raquel kind of mentioned that. I think it's worth the stop. We parked nearby, and it just so happened that the night that we stopped by, there were fire dancers and a drum circle going on. We did not plan it, but it was very good people watching, very, very entertaining. I thought that's what Raquel was going to want to talk about at the top.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about it, but it was very Colorado. Like, that's what I felt. Just people hanging out, doing a drum circle, in a park. Yeah. And just like people feeling the drums and dancing. It was it was fun. Like I could have hung out. I could have sat around and just watched.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Penny Arcade. We have been there a couple times. I will say the Penny Arcade is much more fun at nighttime. They have people working some additional games that aren't just arcade games that you can play. So if you're gonna go down there, I think the evening is a better choice rather than the afternoon. So let's talk about the Broadmoor. Jacqueline stayed at the Broadmoor, which is really amazing. You're going to see some advertisements for the Broadmoor, and it's going to come up on a search because it is a very popular destination. The Seven Falls is also nearby. It is a mile-long walk on a paved street to the falls, or you can pay and take a tram. We did that as well. Me and Raquel have done that, I think, once or twice now. It's 224 stairs, and it is steep. So take your time. Don't feel pressure. Let people go around you if they're trying to race up there. It is a lot of steps, and they're pretty big steps to take as you're going up to the top. Or you can take the elevator. There's a tunnel on the opposite side. You can go through the tunnel, and it's got an elevator that goes up to the top. It's a little crow's nest area, and you can see the Seven Falls from a different viewpoint. So, Jacqueline, did you do Seven Falls while you were there, or did you just hang out at the Broadmoor?
Yes, I stayed at the Broadmoor. I didn't get to do Seven Falls, which I really wanted to do. But I wasn't able to do it, but I really, 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 really wanted to. And then Broadmoor, yes, it is expensive, but I was there for work. We had a convention, but it's really pretty. It's a gorgeous area for sure. Food was really great. They had bowling in there. Like, so we did that one night for team building. They had a really cool restaurant inside that had like ivy and stuff hanging from the ceiling. It was very, very nice. And then there was one place that we went to the last day. It was for breakfast, I remember, and they put bees on you. And they like, it's so funny because the lady, like, she tosses it at you, and then it's like, it's a little bee. And I don't remember why it was called that. I'm gonna have to look it up again, but it was a really nice place. Like, I would want to stay there again if we ever get the chance.
And I think I saw it has like a spa because I looked up spa. I looked up the spa things.
Yeah, I didn't get to do that, and I'm pretty sure they have golf too, because I think that there's a golf course right off the way. But yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah, a lot of cool experiences. I saw that there's also some fly fishing there as well. So definitely a cool place to check out. I should also mention that whenever we did the Seven Falls, we went up to the top. We walked around and did some hiking. I think we went to a bit of a clearing, and I remember we could see people on a zip line. So you can also zip line while you're there. There's 10 zip lines ranging up to 1,800 feet long, and it also requires you to cross some rope bridges. I feel like whenever we looked it up, we noticed that it said that you have to do some additional hiking, and we were like, I don't think we're gonna hike that far. That's not for us today. But it looked like it was a really cool place to zip line, though.
See, that's why I wanted to do it, because they had zip lining. So I looked at the packages, because I think it was like you could pick 2 or 3 and do them, like the Seven Falls plus the zip lining. And yeah, I really wanted to do it.
We've never zip lined.
What?
I've only done it once. Yeah.
I feel like I've done it everywhere.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then whenever we come back, we'll get some food and souvenirs and then wrap up. All right, we're back, and we're going to go ahead and dive into food. We already covered the donuts at Pike's Peak. I know there's also some ice cream along the walkway whenever you're going to Seven Falls. We got that on one of our trips as well. One restaurant that kept coming up on my searches was called the Rabbit Hole. I think I would be interested in going there. That looks like a really cool place to eat. There's a lot of breweries. Let me go ahead and name off a few. We have the Goat Patch, Red Leg, Phantom Canyon, Colorado Mountain Brewing, Bristol Brewing. So if that is something you're interested in to go to the brewery, there's plenty to do there. Another item that came up was bison. I remember at one place that we went to, we got venison. We didn't get bison, but we did try some venison egg rolls, and those were really good. And then the other food place that sticks out for me was the Denver Biscuit Company. We stopped there for breakfast one morning. It was fried chicken on a biscuit with some bacon and egg and gravy, and it was very delicious. Any other food that y'all want to shout out?
Say we didn't go to the rabbit hole, but it was some place that was always recommended when we were like, hey, we're trying to go somewhere, that's local and that you guys recommend. And that was like the number one spot. And we ended up not going. We were too tired one night. This was my work trip. And so we didn't end up going, but that was definitely one of the ones that was often talked about. So I'm kind of sad I missed out on it because I really did want to try it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get some souvenirs ready. I initially was thinking my souvenir for this trip I wanted to do was some Pike's Peak donut mix. I don't know if they sell that, but I think they should if they don't. And I don't know if it's actually going to be the greatest souvenir since it's specifically designed for high altitude. But that was my initial thought. My one that I think I would actually do now, I mentioned like the Manitou Springs has a lot of souvenir shops. You can get t-shirts and mugs and keychains, koozies. But there's also some shops there that have some really nice artwork. So if money's no object, I think I would pick out a painting there of Pike's Peak or Garden of the Gods or something there. They had some really cool pieces in the shops there.
Now at Pikes Peak, they do have donuts that are like little plushies. I thought about getting one for Christian and Cruz because they had little donuts that you could bring back. That was really cute, but I didn't get that. Instead, I got them a Snoopy train conductor from the Cogs Railway. Yes, that's what I brought back.
Well, I think I want Javi's pink sweater. What were you going to say, though?
I thought Raquel was going to pick the fire dancer.
The batons or whatever.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
to swing around.
True.
Let's go ahead and do the AI piece. So after we've done all of our research and put down everything onto paper, I went ahead and did an AI generated trip just to see what it had to offer, see if there's anything that we missed. And for the most part, I think we hit the big items. It talks about Garden of the Gods. It mentions that it's a free national landmark. It's a must-see, towering red sandstone rock formations. It tells you to drive the scenic loop, take a guided nature walk, and there's miles of hiking. It mentions Pikes Peak as America's mountain. It says you can drive or use the Cog Railway or hike the Bar Trail. One that we didn't talk about was the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. It recommends that as well. I looked it up. They have the largest giraffe herds in North America at that zoo. So if you're into giraffes, that's a good place to stop by. And whenever I looked up their website, they also offer dog days where you can bring your dog into the zoo. So that is another fun experience if you're bringing your dog on the trip. Final thoughts. See if you guys have anything additional you want to say about the trip. And what is the longest road trip you would be willing to make for Colorado Springs? I looked it up. I have a feeling that we're going to get some 2 and 3 hour remarks from Jacqueline and Jill, but I want to let you know ahead of time. It is 11 hours from Dallas.
Oh,
When me and Raquel drove it from San Antonio, it would have been 15 hours, but we actually took the scenic route and we went a couple other places along the way. So I think we actually were in the car. It would have been closer to 20 hours.
dang.
So, the furthest spots in the U.S., if I'm looking at Key West, I'm looking at Maine, you're looking at like a 33-hour drive to get to Colorado Springs. So I'm interested in what Jacqueline and Jill and Raquel have to say as far as how long you'd be willing to sit in the car on your way to Colorado Springs.
Dang.
I'm going to say 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 6 is kind of my max. But I really loved Colorado Springs. I don't think Jill liked it as much as I did because I feel like it's very the people there are very outdoorsy. Like they want to be outside. I feel like they were very like into fitness and into just hiking, and I like that kind of stuff. Like I'm like, yeah,
I like that stuff.
I'm just saying.
I struggled with is that I had a hard time finding things to eat that I thought were like so delicious. And I think I bought 3 coffees one morning and none of them were to my liking. Maybe it's me. But, so I struggled with the food. Elliot has family that lived there for several years, and it was one of their favorite places to live. Just like you said, because of the activity, their kids were outside a lot. Even though it was cold, they just acclimated to it, and they really loved it there.
I feel like I have to say 15 hours because I did it. We did that. And I'm willing to drive the 15 hours if Yogi, our dog, is able to go with us. So I'm willing to do that because I know it's not something that I can do on like a plane to take him. So I'm more than willing to make it a 15-hour trip. What I would say really though is like, I think if I'm not taking Yogi, I'm probably looking at max around 8 to 10 hours. If you don't want to be in the car for longer than that, luckily Colorado Springs is really central and it is a short flight for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, that I only need to do that long of a drive if I want to take Yogi. Just because there's a lot of stuff that he can do with us there, and I think it's worth it. But I do not need to drive that if I can fly.
But you both drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He is not.
So you guys are doing like 7.5 apiece. I'm just checking in.
Oh, it's probably not split half, but I will drive. I will drive.
I will too, and I used to not, but I will drive now because it's hard on your body to like just
Yeah.
it's tiring.
I'll drive
to
some.
focus for a little bit sometimes. So
Right, for sure. I don't know. I guess I think I'm like 6 to 8 if we don't have Yogi.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, that will wrap up the episode, but there's so much more to experience in Colorado. I'm sure it won't be long before we're headed back. Follow us on Instagram at Postcard Town Podcast for more content. Thank you to Jacqueline, Jill, and Raquel for making this podcast come to life and no longer just an idea that I had. And thank you to everyone for listening, and safe travels.
Later, skater.